Logan, what did you do?
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel.
Who is she?
Beneath the stains
She's like you.
of time.
Very much like you. Logan, you still have time.
Today is a great day to be alive. X-23. Oh. Get out. That's awesome. Logan was directed by James Mangold and it stars Hugh Jackman as the Wolverine. And Hugh Jackman came out and said this will be his last performance as Wolverine and he's going to end the character the way it should be. And I'm not going to talk about the plot synopsis because this movie is an experience of a lifetime. This movie was very great, awesome, Batman-tastic film. Pretty much overall, this movie is about Wolverine and Professor Xavier have to protect this girl and cart her across the state to keep her safe from Donald Pierce, who's the main villain in this whole entire movie, in his gang of Reavers that's trying to take her for some reason. And I gotta tell you that this performance from Hugh Jackman was the epitome of greatness. This movie was very down to earth, very exciting, very intense, very emotional, had grit, had everything you want from a superhero movie. It was very perfect in that nature. In this movie, they put the humor to a bare minimum and focus on the intense action sequences, but it didn't really have a lot of action sequences. It was more personal and more deeper into Wolverine trying to discover himself again, trying to learn about himself, learn about X-23. He discovers something new of himself. In this movie, pretty much telling a story about a character trying to find his humanity and find himself. This movie, call me what you want. You can call me sadistic. You can call me an evil person. I don't care. I love the blood. I love the gore. I love seeing limbs getting chopped off. I love Wolverine just chopping off limbs, cutting people up into pieces. I wanted more, and I loved every single moment of it. I love the blood just gushing on the screen. I don't care what you're thinking. I love the blood. This was a very bloody movie to its core. Like, it was bloodier than Deadpool. And this is the Wolverine that we needed and the Wolverine that we got. And this is the Wolverine that I will remember as one of the best superhero movies of all time. You hear me? Of all time. If I can compare this movie to another movie, I literally have to compare this to The Dark Knight. Am I crazy for saying this? Maybe so, yeah, but let me tell you something. In Dark Knight, Batman was grounded, down to earth, and relatable. And it didn't really focus on a comic book, but focus more on the personal nature of Batman in a realistic world that we live in. And I kind of think that Logan was trying to take that approach, trying to make it dark, make it gritty, make it grounded, and not comic book-y. And I want to talk about Patrick Stewart as Professor Xavier. Patrick Stewart killed it in his role as Professor Xavier. Audience members are really into these characters of every setting that they're in, that it could make tears flow through your eyes. This movie was very emotional and very brutal. And I want to talk about the MVP of this whole entire movie. The MVP, X-23. This is her first appearing on screen, on the big screen. And I gotta tell you that Daphne Keane wonderfully did a great job. I had a blast with her performance. She killed the role. If I could describe another word for killed, I would say she obliterated the role. She eviscerated the role with her claws. She was fantastic. Her action sequences was subpar better than Wolverine's action sequences. I loved her on screen. I literally enjoyed watching her cut people up and kill people in a graphic nature, and cutting heads off and cutting little fingers off and seeing all the blood just being gushed from their eyes. I love it. I love it. I don't care. I'm dark. I have one small flaw with this movie. There is a character that is involved with this movie that kind of gets on my nerves a little bit. I understand it. Donald Pierce as a villain was a huge disappointment with me. I was expecting more from the villain, but he was pretty much a disappointing villain. I will get into more about his villain in a spoiler review, but I just want you guys to really watch this film and experience this film for yourselves. This is a emotional roller coaster. This is a gripping movie, intense, and Wolverine himself was bruised, grizzled, beaten, battered, assaulted, raped. Yes. Okay, forget the rape part, but you know what I mean. This is a movie that fans want. This is a movie that fans will love, and the ending of this movie was perfect. I find it giving the character is farewell goodbye. I love the ending. It was a perfect ending. I kind of wanted more of an emotional feel to it. This movie definitely deserves an A+. This movie is definitely a Ben Affleck Batman. Thank you for watching, and I will have a spoiler review. It is coming to you next, and I can't wait to talk about the full details. Alright guys, thank you for watching. If you like everything you see and you agree, click right here to join me in the Batman family. I'll have more Batman-tastic reviews on the way. You have been warned. Till then, ciao.